think all
right.
pro YouTubers have some kind of background staff.
Yeah, I think they do. The good ones. All right. Anyways, hey, we are the Northwest Brewmeisters. A couple guys who like beer. We are the Northwest Brewmeisters. A couple of guys who like beer.
I think you should too.
My name is Jamie.
I'm Steve.
And
we did that in a warning, but that's all right.
Did we? Yeah. What are we supposed to do?
Usually you give our names first, but it's fine. Oh, who cares?
That's right.
We're
the Northwest
Brewmeisters.
Brewmeisters. I'm Jamie.
I'm Steve. We're a couple guys from the Pacific Northwest who like beer and think you should too.
I had a long
We're like
night.
going over the script right there live on our broadcast.
So we'll just watch this one next time before we start. That'll be great.
It's fine. No one cares, man.
You're right. Least of all me. All right, so let's get to talking. Let's start, as we always start,
Right?
with what we're drinking.
What do you need?
Well, I had a beer.
Oh, somewhere there's this elusive beer.
I meant to say with what we're making, but we could start with what we're drinking.
This is a beer that Jamie made.
That's about all we know about it.
We're mostly sure it's a Kolsch.
Pretty confident. It could be.
Tastes like Kolsch.
It could be what was supposed to be a Hellesbach that ended up with ale yeast in it on accident, or
You've already transferred all that stuff over? Or
I don't know, man. We got like 20 gallons of beer in my house. They all look the same.
maybe
anymore.
it's time to take a break then. If you keep track what beers you got going.
Maybe if you would come over, we could drink it all, and then we'd be good.
Who's over there every weekend?
Well, obviously, you need to come over during the week. All right? I don't mind if you wake me up at 2 in the morning when you get off work. Just doom, doom, doom. Hey, time to drink beer. I will get up. We'll do it. I'm making a breakfast beer for crying out loud. Oh, and what a segue. There we go.
Oh,
So, we are making a breakfast beer. We being me. Steve's making something different. So, literally, a beer you can drink with breakfast. That is the goal. I think I let
does it
Ben.
have eggs and bacon in it?
No, it's actually going to be citrusy. So,
Like orange juice.
yeah. And not only did I choose, so obviously I went with Citra hops, right? Kind of a no-brainer, right? But not only that, but I also chose American Ale 2 for my yeast, from Y yeast, right? It is Y yeast, right? That's how they say Y yeast, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Even though it's W-Y, I think they say Y.
Yeah.
Not we yeast.
We
Bad enough.
how would you
Y
say
yeast.
that? I don't know. You know, if we were Eastern European, we would know how to say that.
Probably.
Because they have words like that with 18 consonants all at the same time. So that's already on. I just need to.
Alright. And poof! There it is.
Oh, wow. That was like not as explosive and as violent as I expected it to be.
I know, right?
All right. So where was I? I was talking about
Breakfast beer.
Right. I was talking about
Citrusy here.
Citrusy. So Y yeast 1272.
Oh.
And so I was looking up yeast yesterday, trying, throwing this thing together. Excuse me. And it said if you want the more fruity flavors from this yeast, you'll brew at a warmer temperature. No, wait. Yeah, the more fruity or nutty, or I have to look it up again. But I know that if you brew this on the cooler end of the spectrum, because yeast have like a range.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually like 62 to 72, somewhere in there for ales. It's like mid 60s to mid 70s is about where. Oh, okay, you're just making the knot tight. It's like
I'm
you stuck
trying to give myself some more
room so you can actually get down in the water.
so it hangs down the water.
So anyhow, Y yeast 1272 American Ale 2 is what its name is. Apparently, if you kind of keep your fermentation on the cooler side, more of those citrus notes come through. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to add some Citra hops at about 10. And yeah.
Cool. I'm just getting my recipe ready because it was.
Look at this. I even have a printout. They printed it out. So we're using Y yeast 1272. I'm doing 4 ounces of honey malt, 4 ounces of caramel 20, 2 ounces of special roast, and 2 ounces of victory. So the special roast and the victory, you'd have to look them up. when I put this recipe together, I knew exactly what I was doing, and now I have no clue why I put all those in there. I know that they say a lot of things like bread, toasty, nutty flavors. So I kind of went that kind of deal. So it's not gonna be super malty, you know. We're doing 6 pounds of dry malt extract. I'm not doing liquid.
Yours is all dry. I noticed
Yeah.
that,
Yeah, and I talked with him about that. There's like very little difference between them.
Right.
But yeah, so this is a Pilsen Light. So yeah, this is gonna be a light colored beer. It's not gonna be dark at all. It's gonna be citrusy. It's gonna be kind of low alcohol. So we'll be able to drink a lot of it. All right, that's my beer.
All right.
You go.
I am making what they call a black IPA, also known as a Cascadian Dark. It's kind of a northwestern thing, from what I understand about it.
Okay, so
the reason
now-
it's called Cascadian Dark is it has a lot of Cascade hops in it. So
Now in the description, I said these were our own recipes. Did I lie?
kind of, it's
Okay.
not my recipe that I put together, but it was not one of their recipes where we usually buy from the. From
So
grocery store.
one original recipe and
So-
one recipe stolen.
So this is a recipe I found online, and
Sorry, I lied.
it's okay. So basically, a black IPA is just like a regular IPA, but it's dark in color. It's supposed to have the same hop character, same mouthfeel. It's not supposed to be any more malty or anything like that. It's just supposed to be an IPA, but dark, almost like a stout. And what makes it dark are the grains, which we'll get to. So, all right, standard fare. This will make a 5-gallon batch. The original gravity is supposed to be 1.055, a final gravity of 1.014, ABV roughly at 5.5%. So it's not going to be too terribly strong, but it'll be strong enough. You can always adjust your recipe to make it stronger if you like. So my malts are extracts, which are not out here, but that's okay. They're warming up, so they pour easier.
Oh, yours are the you don't
Yeah,
want them out here.
Just 6.6 pounds of light malt extract, the Golden Light from Breeze. The original recipe actually called for rye LME, liquid malt extract, but I've been informed by our supplier that rye LME is no longer made. So I just ended up using just two cans of Golden Light. So I don't really know what rye would do. Maybe it imparts a little bit of flavor. I'm not sure. So
Make it taste like
apparently it's not made anymore. So it tastes like what?
a Reuben.
A Reuben sandwich, yeah. All right, so my steeping grains are 4 ounces of chocolate malt, 8 ounces of Crystal 60, 8 ounces of Midnight Wheat, and 8 ounces of black malt. And that's what's going to make it dark, really dark, like a stout. Almost like a Guinness dark, but not thick and frothy. Let's see. I already mentioned I'm using 6.6 pounds of Golden Light liquid malt extract. My hops, I have quite a bit of hops on my schedule this time. I will be putting in 1 ounce of Chinook at the 60-minute mark, 1 ounce of Cascade at 20 minutes, another 1 ounce of Chinook at 10 minutes, along with another ounce of Cascade at 10 minutes, and then during the whirlpooling, during the rapid cooling, I'm going to drop in 3 ounces of Citra. So I'm also going to be adding a pound of dextrose, which is just another name for corn sugar. And I'll be using, instead of a Whirlfloc, I'm going to be using Irish moss this time as part of the clarification procedure. And I'm also going to
4KY?
because that's what it called for. I want to see what the difference is. Are you challenging me?
No, I was just wondering why.
Because I want to see what the differences are.
I have more questions after you're done.
Of course you do.
I am hurt.
And my yeast, and in fact, I'm not using liquid yeast this time. Like the Y yeast, I'm using Cephale US 1 or US 05, 1 packet of that. So it's just dry yeast, kind of like what you would see bread makers use, bakeries use, but it's obviously formulated for brewing. So standard procedure. If you've watched any of our other videos, I'm going to boil 3 gallons of water. I'm going to steep the grains in 3 gallons of water for 30 minutes at about 150, 155 degrees. And then I'll put in my extract, bring it up to a boil. It'll boil for 1 hour, rapidly cool it. So wash, rinse, repeat. If you watch any other episode, it'll be the same process. So
Every single time.
right. Now, if I really like this recipe, then to start making it my own, I may alter some things on it and try to, see what I can do to make it more like what I would like. If there's things if there's things I think need improvement, I'll try to improve it. If it's really good right out of the box, essentially, then I'll just keep it as a borrowed recipe, and that's it. So, what other questions do you have?
They're not snarky, man. They're legit. So, what besides the color is really different about this from, say, a normal IPA?
Just the color. That's it.
Really?
It's not supposed to be. That's the thing. It's not supposed to be different. It's not supposed to have any extra flavor, any extra mouthfeel. It's supposed to be just as hoppy as a regular IPA, but just really dark and look like a classic Guinness, literally.
Huh. So,
because it has all the same hops you would use in a hoppy, lighter, regular standard lighter color IPA. So,
I mean, I imagine there's a slight flavor difference because of the grains you're using, right? There's got to be some difference.
well, maybe because it's using a dry yeast, but the majority of those grains are color, not really flavor. Like chocolate malt does not add chocolate flavor; it's just dark like chocolate. That's why they call it chocolate malt. So.
Okay.
It might change the flavor a little bit, but I don't know by how much yet, though, if any at all. But ideally, it's not supposed to. So,
Gotcha. Yeah, I was just wondering, why, what the big difference.
I still don't have a digital thermometer yet, again, because I've had two of them.
And they break. We need to get a big one.
Yeah, I know. Every time I look for one, or when I think to look for one, they don't have a decent one. They just have these tiny little things. I thought about getting like a big clip-on kind, but the thing is, the
Looking like 90.
problem though with that is that clip-on will be mostly on the edge of the pot, and I don't know if it's going to give us an accurate reading, unless it can be angled or something towards the center of the pot, which is, again, I don't know how accurate that is, because that's why you'll notice we'll use different points.
Mm-hmm.
Just because the heat doesn't seem to distribute evenly, So
Yeah, I have noticed that. All right, how do we share? Nope. Nope.
all right. So mine is my black IPA. And to my knowledge, it doesn't have a name other than Cascadian Dark. I guess if I tailor the recipe down to my own tastes and see what happens. Maybe I'll formulate my own recipe and name it. In the meantime, I'm just going to go with what I found. I did see some other recipes on there. I don't remember the specifics of them, but as I poked around the web and found other extract versions of a black IPA recipe, I mean, they were very similar, but I mean, each one had its own differences. Maybe I could try a different yeast. I could try ale yeast instead of this dry yeast. I've only ever used a dry yeast one other time, and I don't remember what the beer was, but to my knowledge, it came out fine if I remember right. I don't remember ever going, oh man, I never should have done that.
No, I just, what I wonder about those.
I don't know if it makes much of a difference at all, honestly.
Yeah, I just call this one of my side projects.
Oh, okay.
We are now my side project.
We are now your side project. Okay.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to minimalize you like that. Maybe I should have chosen different terminology to share that.
All right. Over to you.
Over to me. So yeah, don't mind me while I'm just sharing things on Twitter because professionalism and no support staff. I don't know. I wonder. Well, so what's the difference between? So what do they make starter yeasts out of? Aren't those dry yeast?
No, a yeast starter is something you do to your yeast to get it.
Right. Well, no, I know that, but why is the dry yeast? I wonder if the dry yeast is.
From what I read and what people told me, there's really no difference. It's a matter of preference because there's different kinds of dry yeast, just like there's different kinds of the white yeast and pouches based off the kind of beer you're making. So
Okay, gotcha.
But it doesn't really matter. The yeast starter is just something you do to get the yeast, wake them up and get them going. It doesn't matter if it's dry yeast or smack pack.
Gotcha.
In fact, the friend of mine that first kind of showed me the original home brewing door back in the early 2000s, I always ever saw him use dry yeast. But then again, thinking back, he might have been forced to use dry yeast because we lived in Japan. We were in the military, and it's very likely those yeast snack packs just weren't available there.
Yeah, that's a good
And
chance.
so he was probably able to find a close equivalent to dry yeast. And I can't remember if he used bread yeast because,
I read something about bread yeast yesterday.
I can't remember if he used bread yeast or like those packs because in the same essence, those packs have to be, even the dry yeast packs are refrigerated. Now, I don't know if it says they have to be, but every time I've purchased them, they're all refrigerated.
It keeps the yeast dormant.
Right.
Because yeast are living organisms,
Right.
and if you chill them out, that's why you have to get your wort a certain temperature.
Right.
Because if it's too cold,
Speaking of that, here you go.
if it's too cold, then your yeast will go back to sleep.
Right.
And if it's too warm, obviously you kill them. We found that one out the hard way.
So one thing I'm trying new with the beers that we haven't done yet is cold crashing, and what that is in a nutshell is when you're done fermenting, before you carbonate, you can do it a couple different ways. Some people just put their secondary fermenter down into, in my case, a chest freezer that has a temperature control on it. Some people will keg it first, and then they'll do the same thing. They'll put their keg in there before it's carbonated. But I'm just going to put the carbo in there, and you cold crash it for, 2 or 3 days. You just rapidly drop the temperature, and it's supposed to help any suspended particles in your beer float down, not really float, I guess, sink to the bottom. So you have a less of a cloudy beer when you chill it.
We have
that in combination with using a Whirlflock or an Irish Moss is supposed to really help give you crystal clear beer in the end. So
I was just gonna say we kind of have this permanent side quest going on to one day get a beer that doesn't have chill haze in it.
right.
We have yet to do that, don't we?
I don't know. I don't know if we've ever been successful or not. So we've been starting to use Whirlflock. Today up for the first time, I'm going to use some Irish Moss, which is just a little packet. This was like, a couple dollars at the brew supply store. It's just dry, it doesn't refrigerate or anything. I think it's a tablespoon that I need to put in there. I don't know. I'll have to read my recipe instructions again. It's like last 15 or 10 minutes of the boil, just drop some of this in there. And I guess, since it's natural, whatever the natural chemicals are in this thing are supposed to help particles and yeast and crap clump together. And when it clumps together, it becomes heavier and it sinks to the bottom. So we'll see. So,
It's supposed to do the same thing as Whirlflock.
yeah. This was probably what they used before Whirlflock, because Whirlflock's like a little tablet. Looks like a piece of candy, honestly. So anyway, I wanted to try Irish Moss because we had Irish Moss. I had bought some, but we never used it a long time ago.
Yeah, like what, 10 years ago?
Yeah, I'm gonna assume it'll throw it away.
It was a long time ago.
Oh, last 15 minutes of boiling is what it says here. 1 teaspoon. Not a tablespoon, a teaspoon. That's not
Is
very
it like a
much.
fat pinch or a small pinch?
No, I'm gonna
Are
gonna be all
use a
scientific.
teaspoon?
I'm gonna be all scientific and use a teaspoon.
Like a real teaspoon?
A real teaspoon, yeah.
Okay.
Because I have a pretty cool little measuring deal. You can change the slider.
Yep.
You can change what you need. So I'm just gonna do that, and then it doesn't say anything about refrigerating it after being opened. So anyway, who knows if it works better than the Whirlflock, I might switch over to it. If it doesn't, then whatever. Because I have a beer that's fermenting. I've actually got 2 beers fermenting. I got 1 beer lager in right now. It's in the. I'm pointing to it like they can see it, but
Yes.
off camera,
See
I have a chest freezer, which normally holds my kegs, but I'm using it this time to lager a beer, which was an accidental lager. So if you watch 2 episodes ago, I think the review was last episode. So if you watch last episode, I admit making a mistake, pretty great mistake. So
What you won't see is the enormous amount of foul language that happened the day of the mistake.
right, we were already out here.
It was art. It was art.
So quick recap, if you don't feel like watching it or missed it. Jamie was going to make a lager. He was Hellesbach.
Which might be this.
And I
don't know.
was just going to make a very simple English bitter.
Just a bitter.
Just a basic bitter, nothing crazy. And where I screwed up was I mixed our yeast, our smack packs. I confused whose was whose because they do look identical. And for some reason, I had thought he had already pitched his yeast, and I thought, well, that's the old one. I'll just grab mine. And then I pitched the yeast, and then looked at the number, and went, uh-oh. And I realized I had put the wrong yeast in there. And so came out and told Jamie, I was like, hey, I screwed up, man. And he said, well, let's see what happens.
Well, think about it. Okay, so here, I have strong logic for this, right? Look at this. I'm not going to pour this all the way out here. But look at these grain sacks that we put in here, right? By the way, can I have the thermometer?
Mm-hmm.
Right? How is that different from a lager or an ale or a lager or an ale or a lager or an ale, right?
It's really not, yeah.
Right? How about the sugars that we use?
Yeah.
DME,
It's going to be all the
Green,
same
Frozen
stuff.
Light.
Yeah.
Right? It's all the same.
Pretty much it boiled down to is how we fermented it.
Right. It's the yeast you use, and then your fermentation steps. You know, did you ferment cold?
Right.
Did you do the diacetyl rest? By the way, we should talk about the
I did
diacetyl
it.
rest.
I didn't like say, here's my diacetyl rest. I just let it sit in the primary for quite a while.
But you let it kind of come up to a warmer temperature, right?
Yeah, because I cranked the heat up a little bit to boost the temperature on the beer that needs to be racked, like probably tomorrow, which is the it's my I couldn't remember what it was. It's poured to Jamie. It's a Mac and Jack clone, so it's ready to go in the secondary. It's been 2 weeks, so I just need to move it over. But I cranked the heat up and put my carboy closer to the heater so that the temperature of the house would be closer to like 66, 67 degrees. So that right there should have hopefully done the same thing as a diacetyl rest. And,
Well, did you read?
Yes, and then I put it in the
Yes.
right, and it says bring the wort up to about 68 degrees is what it says in diacetyl rest
Mhm.
for like 3 days. And I'm set.
Well, you know what would help me? In actually seeing this itty bitty thing.
But I didn't do a diacetyl rest by any kind of instructional schedule. I just did it naturally by raising the temperature of my house, and the wort was next to my other wort that's been fermenting, and then I just moved it over. Earlier in the weekend, I racked it into a secondary, and I put it in the cooler, the test freezer, so it could start the lagering process. What I don't know is how long I'm going to let it lager, so probably a month maybe, just to keep it as a
Really?
something that I can, because I'm going to have I'm going to have 3 beers in the pipeline now, so which means I have limited room, limited carboys. So if I leave that in there, rack this one, that's the other one, leave that in there for a month, go through these beers, and then keg it. It'll keep my pipeline going.
Gotcha.
So some things I've read about lagering, people have been known to lager up to a year. You know, and lagering is just another name for like cold fermentation, because those yeasts thrive in colder temperatures. So, and then the yeast is pretty much, I don't know what else it's going to do, because the lagering process said to reduce the temperature down as close to freezing as possible.
Yep.
Over a few day period, which I've been lowering my temperature, and then getting it down to 35, and then I'll take it down to like 34, 33. I'll probably leave it at 33, and then just let it sit in there for like a month as these other beers go through the pipeline and get consumed, and then I'll keg that one, so it'll be the next beer ready, and then I'll have another beer coming into either secondary or going in the keg. So it'll keep my pipeline. It'll be like that buffer for my pipeline, because I'm going to have 2 beers plus the lager, so I've got to manage it, you know.
No, I get it. You can only drink so much. Maybe we should start selling it.
You got to get a license for that. And
Only if you get caught.
we got to get somebody. It would have to be like bottled and stuff. For
Yeah,
to like for like bars or establishments to try it, see if they want to carry it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you have to brew. We would have to brew in larger bulk, which means we'd have to get a license for that. So yes, Ken.
Do you guys want chili dogs or the macaroni sausage veggie mix?
Well, macaroni.
Macaroni.
Yeah.
Macaroni one?
Yeah. I know you can't have the sausage right now, but
I know
you
what
can
it
eat
is.
other stuff.
I'm not worried about it, man. I ate so much food at church today. It's crazy. So here's the thing about the diacetyl rest. For those of you who are watching with rapt attention on the replay, obviously, because
What's your temperature?
it's like 142. I turn it down to slow so I don't go scorching past.
Right, I'm just gonna get mine ready then since
So anyhow, it says the big thing is that the cold brewing makes it hard for the yeast to. Well, it says the cold temperature keeps more sulfur in the solution.
okay.
And so it makes it harder for the yeast to absorb the diacetyl. The good diacetyl rest near the end will greatly reduce this. And then it says this procedure is ferment at 50 to 55, right, which is about what I fermented that last one at. Then when it hits a specific gravity, which I didn't bother to measure, I just kind of hit the end of 2 weeks. Let the fermentation temperature rise to a maximum of 6. It says a maximum of 68. And so to do that, I just brought it up into the upper house.
Right.
You know, fermentation will reach completion, usually in a specific gravity of 1.10 to 1.14, et cetera, et cetera. Let it sit here for 3 to 5 days, and then cool over the next day to 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Keep it at 50 for 1 day, and then lager it, usually about 41 degrees. And I'm gonna...
See, which is different than what other instructions I've read.
Yeah, you know, the problem is, you
Like-
notice that happens with
Because
how
the
to
other,
do things?
yeah, and it's ridiculous sometimes. It doesn't matter if I'm looking up beer stuff or other things. Seems like there's like as many different ways to do it as there are posts about something. Because the other lagering processes said bring it down gradually over a 5-day period to almost freezing. Not
Right.
maintaining 40 degrees, you know.
Well, he said 50. Well, you're right. That guy said lagering was 40
Right.
degrees. That was what he called a lagering temperature. We had that one guy long ago who actually popped on one of the videos, and he was like, you know, why are you guys lagering? Because we were saying we're brewing at 63 degrees. We're like, that's not lagering.
Oh, right.
That's like just kind of cool ale yeast temperatures right there. You can probably hit it. I'm going to start my timer.
Okay.
And I do think it's a good idea that we waited until I hit temperature. Because last time you started a little early, and we were kind of hopping at the end there,
Right.
trying to get things done.
Well, it's fine. Alright, let's get the grain satchel in there.
Satchel? It's a good word.
The muslin sack.
It's a more crude word. I like satchel. Satchel's a good word.
Get in there, please. There you go.
I feel all D&D.
With the word satchel.
Satchel?
I shall place with my satchel.
Yes, a satchel.
There we go.
So I took my wife
Oh yeah.
out to dinner last night.
Where'd you guys end up going?
We ended up going to Fraser's right here in town.
Oh.
She's like, I don't want to drive and
Why?
stuff. She wanted to try the casino, that fancy
Oh,
restaurant that's in the
right.
casino. But yeah, they are reservation only, and they didn't have anything. So I was like,
That sucks, but
yeah, she was a little bit. I had to talk her back into going out to eat.
Oh, she was wanting to just say,
Yeah, she's like, I don't want you. Just go hang out with Steve. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna go hang out with Steve on your birthday. What's wrong with you?
I'm gonna grab the beer.
Okay. Yeah.
I can take the beer in the house.
No, it's in that fridge right there. Keep your beers close, and your good beers even closer.
Right? Because someone's behind.
I've been. I got nothing. You've been talking more than me. Holy crap.
Oh no, it's okay. It's a friendly competition. It's a friendly little competition we have with each other. We like to give each other crap. Whoever finishes their beer second gets crap. It's like
I think what's strange is how we try and stick very close to 1-to-1.
right.
It's like, dude, drink as much or as little as you want. Right.
True.
I will have another one as soon as you finish yours.
I know, right? Yeah, but you just kind of go 1 for 1, and it's not like a competition. I think it's a way to pace each other, just so that we don't overdo it, kind of thing, you know.
Well, yeah,
Which sometimes still overdo it.
True. I don't think we're gonna overdo it on this beer. I don't think this beer is very strong.
Well, maybe not, but still, it'll be fine.
So I was talking with Ben, and he goes, like, what kind of beer are you trying to make? You know, I mean, it's like, are you going for Coors Light? I said, no, man, I want to make a beer. And he's like, oh, good point. Your logic is sound.
I should probably top off my propane after today because I have no idea how much is in there. Yeah.
I just know how much an empty one weighs. But yeah, that would really suck to run out in the middle of a.
I don't know if I have any more. I think I do. I think I filled a bunch of them up and just stuck them in the shed house. Shed, I said shed house, by the way. I don't because I was kind of grunting as I said it. I didn't want someone to think I.
All right, so just by the fact that we've called so much attention to that, I think it counts now.
PG.
Yeah,
No, we're still G.
totally G. I think I could swear that I've heard a lot of words in G movies that never would have been in G movies when I was a kid. Oh, I swear it.
I don't know. Maybe some of the themes have changed.
I'm sure I've heard HE double hockey sticks.
In a G movie?
Yeah, I'm sure I have.
You might have. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I believe it. That he
I
did.
know I've heard it come out of my kid's mouth at church.
Yeah.
What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? It's like, come on, dude!
Come on, places.
Walk around the corner and 5 church women cackling.
With the hands.
They were like, and I'm like, what's so funny? They're like, you should go look at your son. And he comes around, I didn't even have to move. He just comes around the corner talking to himself, you know, like he does. It's, what the hell? What the hell? It's like, Hyman! Come on, go! Fortunately, Orthodoxy isn't, I mean, it's not like we're all swearing and cursing like sailors in church, but Orthodoxy doesn't get quite as hung up on,
Right. They're a little,
4-letter words as some of the other denominations do.
little more. I don't know, lenient's the right word, but just
I think-
forgiving, maybe.
Focused on more important things.
There you go. That's a good way to put it. Get my timer red eye. In an hour.
Man, this is really bad, dude. I'm gonna have to put some tape on this one and label it.
Yeah.
Well, I made 3 beers in a row that are all the same color. It's like, which one is that? I don't know. That was the one thing that Ben or Trevor, whichever one, I think I was talking to Ben. He's like, well, what's your alcohol content? What are you aiming for? I'm like, I don't even think, I told him that. It's like, I don't even think about that. I really don't.
Right.
I did say, it's like, I do know that I want it to be light because I don't want to be drinking a 7.5% beer at 8 a.m. No. I want to be able to drive by 9, let it settle out and be able to get about the day.
Bad that sounds.
By 10.
Well, no, it just sounds bad. It's like, well, I want to be able to drive by 9. Come on. You drinking beer at 8 in the morning?
Nothing wrong with
It's orange juice beer.
It's light alcohol. It's all about flavor, and yeah, I'm totally gonna have bacon and eggs and beer. I'm gonna drink this beer with breakfast.
I think it's funny. I know you will too. You'll be like, I'm gonna do this.
I'm totally gonna do this. It's what this is intended for. And if it doesn't work so much for breakfast, it will certainly be a session beer. You know, like come over on an afternoon and drink 4.5 gallons of it and not even be phased.
Is there even any beer in this?
This is like Coors Light. I will shoot you right here.
Don't you dare.
But you know, and the thing is, I like Coors Light. Not gonna lie, I like Coors Light. That's right. I feel like I'm going to confession when I say that.
I like Coors Light.
It's like a whole coming out thing.
Coors Light's great when it's a hot summer day and you're mowing your lawn. Help keep it.
Well, it is. It's because it is. It is super, super light. Although it still has at least some beer quality to it.
I mean, you pour it in a glass. It's yellow.
He is struggling to give it any credit at all. As compared to Michelob Ultra,
I know. I think that's even less yellow than Coors Light, honestly.
or like White Claw.
It's
Have you
like-
had White Claw?
No, it's more like a wine cooler.
Yeah, I think it's like Zima. It's like Zima. It's like son of Zima. First there was Zima, and we defeated him. But now
Zima was
son
clear.
of Zima. What?
Zima was clear.
And Zima was
I remember-
disgusting.
I remember in the 90s, early 90s, having like high school parties. Yes, I'm dating myself here. Parties where people would drink Zima, and to give it some character, they would drop a Jolly Rancher in it.
I
Let it dissolve.
remember that.
Or I've seen another guy do, he would, yes, it was a guy that was drinking it or whatever. He would put red grenadine in there and mix it up and it gave it some more character, you know.
I did not like Zima. I tried it once.
Yeah, I tried it, you know.
And we are talking literally like, nope.
I remember, you know, I was underage, of course. I remember scoring a 6-pack of Zima. Somebody's older brother kind of thing bought it for us. I forget this. It was so long ago. You know, I'm old. But, yeah, I scored a 6-pack of Zima, and it was just like, woo. I mean, we drank it because we didn't want to waste it, especially scoring some booze as underage kids, you know, in the 90s. But, yeah, I was like, yeah, this isn't my thing.
You know what's weird about my underage drinking? Because I definitely drank when I was underage. I don't think there's anybody out there who hasn't, except my kid.
They're of age.
I've been trying to get him to drink beer for 7 years
It's
now.
amazing. He won't drink a beer. He's like, no thanks.
Want a beer, man? Nope, that's okay. I don't drink beer. You're not even mine.
Jaime hasn't drank one yet either, has he? Did he try one?
No, but Jaime did get pretty drunk off that punch at your house that one
That's
Thanksgiving.
right, because he didn't know there was booze in it.
Yeah, and well, he has had beer.
But it wasn't the heavy booze.
No,
it was like
that
a,
wasn't,
It was,
that
like
wasn't.
It was like a white wine base.
Yeah, that was a real light punch and stuff.
But still,
But-
for a kid that didn't, I shouldn't say
Yeah.
a kid, he's a grown man.
well, when he was though,
Oh, he's probably 17 during that time, huh? Or 18.
maybe even younger. I mean, that was a while ago. Was that before?
I was retired already.
Oh, were you? Okay, so
So,
yeah,
it's in the last 5
17,
years.
Yeah,
So,
but even before that, when he was 12, I remember 12-ish, somewhere between 11 and 13. Let's put it. We went over to my sister's house. They have this big 4th of July shindig.
okay.
Right. This is a cool thing, man. I mean, so my brother-in-law, he's in, you know, like a butt rock band. You know, they're all like our age, right? Because
Butt rock? No.
everything but rock. No,
No, not butt metal. Everything but
but
metal.
metal. Right. Everything but metal.
No, not butt metal. All right, back to the story.
Yes. Just watch Steel Panther. Disclaimer: we claim no responsibility for any
We just think it's fun.
mental damage. Yeah. In any case,
So big shit, get your sister.
yeah, so he just plays rock and roll, you know, like 80s rock and roll.
Oh, okay.
It's fun, but
Well,
yeah. So his band does that, right? Huge barbecue, food everywhere. It's a block party, is what it is, and then at the end of the night, we set off a lot of fireworks, and then their neighbors set off their homemade fireworks, and you stand far away because these
Whoa.
are not fireworks; they are ordnance.
Wow.
Dude, I was standing there, and they lit their first one off. My shirt moved. I was wearing like a loose, untouched shirt, like, and that thing went boom, and I was like, "That's not
Whoa.
a firecracker.
That
That was a bomb."
I mean, that had a shockwave, man.
It did. It had a shockwave.
Your shirt moved. You're like,
It's like, whoa!
I'm gonna walk over here.
I really need to go back this 4th of July.
Man.
I mean, it was a good time. In any case, so we're there, and at one point, Elizabeth said, "Did you tell Jaime he could have a beer?"
You're like,
I was like, "I don't have a problem with it, but no." It's like, "Why? Do you know how many he's had?" She's like, "We don't know." So,
oh boy.
and apparently he was just looking for stuff to drink, and he opened up a cooler because Jaime doesn't talk, he doesn't
Right.
communicate, he doesn't ask, he's very
He just
self-sufficient. He just does. So he wasn't stumbling or anything.
Wipe this off for you.
I couldn't tell you if he was slurring or not because you have to talk in order for people to know if you're slurring. So
I'm about 120, maybe a hair over, because I don't have my more accurate thermometer anymore. So I failed to get light bulbs again.
I'm at 160. Or like I'm like a little
on the high end.
way on the high end.
That's funny though. But now, was he actually drinking them or just opening them and like leaving
No,
them?
he was drinking
Was
it.
that drinking them? Okay.
Which is weird because Jaime doesn't like pop.
Oh.
He generally doesn't like carbonated drinks.
Right.
And so it was really strange. It's interesting. Usually we have the garage door cracked so that we don't carbon monoxide
good.
ourselves.
Point.
Your wife hasn't complained yet about filling up the house.
Let me go do some recon.
Okay. Dun 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 dun. It's a lot funnier when he's here. So yeah, it's about the only time my kids ever drank beer, to my knowledge. Makes me sad because I brew a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, she's not even back from the store yet. But yeah, it's a good point because we're too young to die. Forgot about our purgy thing. Okay.
I got 15 minutes. Can I have the thing back? The thing that really made me think about that is like I just turned my flame down real low and I could see it going out. And then
What helped with that door being raised about a foot is it brings some more light in here. It's kind of a poopy day here where we're at. Very cloudy and overcast. It's been raining. They got rain overnight. So,
yeah, it did.
but that's the Pacific Northwest for you. Yeah, it's gonna rain.
We don't have to move far, just over on the other side of the mountains.
Right?
They get 4 seasons there.
Oh, nice.
Snow and ice and sun and heat.
Real seasons. Not wet and more wet.
Yeah. Well,
That's not, I'm being facetious. The summers have a dry month and
week.
they're pretty nice. It's beautiful during that time.
Yes, all 2 weeks of it.
Right?
And then it's gray and rainy.
Haze gray.
Tell you what. So I think that I'm going to. I think when I start my boil,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to add that stuff in, and I'm going to wait for the boil to really get under control because our experience with dry malt extract is that it's violent.
Right? And it's really frothy.
Yes, it goes everywhere.
Bringing that temperature down. I'm gonna keep my flame down a little bit. Okay?
I'm okay.
Let's stabilize a little. You inhale some saliva?
No, just a little COVID. I'm okay.
COVID's gone, man. Didn't you know?
That's right. Because,
Accuracy, poof, and then it was gone.
yes.
You know, it's kind of funny because that would be
news
a
cycle.
what?
I said, because news cycle.
Yeah, exactly. What's in the news right now?
Yeah.
Not trying to get all political, but you never know.
And not be insensitive, because it's got to suck to be in Ukraine right
It
now.
does. No, it's just kind of funny because all the before that magic date in this state when masks and stuff were relaxed, I was constantly getting emails from my daughter's school about the COVID cases, and then out of the blue, we've had 0 COVID cases. I mean,
I know.
seriously, it was
Just
miraculous.
I
Just
get
like
the same
that.
emails
Right, and I'm like,
because my kids.
what kind of pandemic crap is this? You know?
I know, it was so. Is that so? I thought it was funny that they were. Did you get the email where they said, "Hey, we're only going to send them out weekly instead of daily now"?
Might have, I don't remember.
So I was watching those, right? And the emails were coming out. Nurse, whoever, it was like nurse first name or maybe whatever. Anyways, instead of saying Mr. or Mrs. or the school nurse,
so and so.
it was nurse so and so, which I guess is official. Nurse is a title.
It is a title, yeah.
So anyway, so we'll just call her Susan. Nurse Susan, we were alerted to 1 COVID case. The student was not on campus when they were tested positive, yada, yada. We were alerted to 1 COVID case. The student was on campus from Monday, from this hour to this hour, yada, yada, right? They give you little updates, right?
Sure.
And then Omicron hit. And then they're like, we have noticed, we have been alerted to 2 COVID cases. And I think the next one was 2 too. But the last email they got, we have been notified that there are many COVID cases and all the students were on campus. We are not going to send out these emails daily anymore. We're going to reduce them to a weekly email.
Weekly aggregation kind of thing.
Which, the thing about Omicron is like,
That's real close.
the thing about Omicron is that was kind of a given. That's going to happen.
Right.
It was so virulent.
Virulent.
I'm still too hot.
It was kill your heat?
Yeah. I'm at like 165.
Oh. Should be alright though.
So we'll just let it drift down. I've got 10 minutes left. And
Yeah.
rock
I'm real
and
close to
roll.
starting. I'm real close to starting my timer. I was like just kind of not that I have enough precision on this thing, but I want to say about 145 is what I was thinking right now. So I should probably be ready to start my timer here real quick. But I did bring my heat down a little bit to help stabilize. Real close.
Anyways, I just chuckled when that happened. It's like, you're going to get overrun. It's not nearly as, as far as COVID ever was dangerous, particularly for people like you and I, but Omicron was not nearly as bad. Which they say, I was talking with one friend who said that you can actually trace, I think it's all of the flu variants, you can trace them back to the Spanish flu, the 1918 one.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it did the same thing. It came on, it was deadly. And then the next wave, not so much. And then it turned into the flu, which still kills, like 40,000 people a year?
Something like that, yeah. I
I
don't
mean,
know the
kills
stats,
people.
but I just know that even long before COVID, the regular household flu unfortunately killed enough people,
Mm-hmm.
Typically it was, I think, older people, wasn't it? Like old people?
Well, old people and very, very young people, immunocompromised. The same people that COVID
They
killed.
were killed, that COVID was killing, yeah.
Yeah, it's those are the demographics. They just think they're people that whether that's hotter, whether their system is stressed because they're dealing with some other disease,
Right.
or their system is overloaded, or their system is old and worn out. They're 90 years old and their system is just You know, and I'm talking about system like you talk about a car, but it's kind of the same idea.
Immune system, I get it. Man.
Yeah, I mean, the mechanics of your body is just your heart is weaker, your lungs don't process oxygen as well. All the things don't do what they used to do. Which I think I want to die saving somebody because I don't want to get old. Getting old just doesn't look fun. I'd much rather go out and hail the bullets. See if you can arrange that for me. I'm good with that. I mean, don't you shoot me. I don't want you to shoot me.
No, I wouldn't want to shoot you.
But
I mean, we could become criminals and go out. Like,
no, we gotta be the good guys, dude. Look at this hat. Look, I mean, it's all dirty and stuff, but it's a white hat. It's the white hat. I'm the good guy. I notice your hat is black.
Yeah, I'm the black guy or the bad guy. That came out wrong. It's a bad guy. I am the bad guy.
You know, you don't even need a mirror. Just look over there in the monitor. Right there in the monitor. Say, no, you were not. I mean, nothing wrong. Just, I know you're like kind of jealous for obvious reasons, but you know.
I gotta go off camera for a minute.
And PG.
And do my
the grocery show. Fine.
My husbandly duties.
Fine, go do that.
Are you not entertained?
Not even remotely. Bye. Well, I guess I'm going to do something interesting. Soda. We should check in on Twitter. Let's check the Twitter account. But we're going to check. I got notifications. Ooh, notifications. Let's look at them. What? All right, people. I know that you've all watched Xanadu with Olivia Newton-John and a whole bunch of random other people. You know, Xanadu, where the guy was like the painter, and then there were lots of roller skating and Olivia Newton-John music, and she was singing and doing the thing, and then at one point he ran into the wall, and when he ran into the wall, he went into the magic Xanadu realm. You don't remember Xanadu? We're totally discussing such. Can't believe people don't know what Xanadu is. It's Xanadu, man. It's... Oh, yeah. You know about... Dude, get in here. You know about Xanadu?
Well, the mythical place or what?
The movie.
Oh, I think you're talking about the term Xanadu referring to like mythology.
Right, well...
I don't know if I've ever seen the movie, honestly.
Do you know of the movie?
I don't know.
I'm hurt, folks. Not even my friend Steve knows of this amazing classical movie called Xanadu. It was kind of...
When was it made?
Oh, 80s? Had Olivia Newton-John in it when she was really, really good looking and young. I don't know if she's even ugly now. I haven't seen a picture of Olivia Newton-John in forever.
Yeah,
She's probably still really good looking. I don't know. But that's not important, Steve. A person's looks are not important, especially in the entertainment industry. Wait.
It's like they have people for that.
That's
They can
about,
change your looks.
that's about all they care about in the entertainment industry.
No, no kidding.
Especially in pop music. It's like you sound like a frog that ran over by a Peterbilt.
That's right.
You are hot, so we got an app for that.
That's right. We have quantization, and pitch correction, and all that technology.
You got all the things.
We can make you sound as good as you look.
Have you seen? So there is a video. I haven't seen it in a while, but it's the video opens with a fairly pretty girl. Right? It's one of those. I think it's like college humor. One of those, funny video sites.
Right.
Anyways, it opens with her singing, and she sounds good, right? And you're looking at her through the glass in the recording booth, right? She's singing. You see the producer, who is like this, balding, middle-aged white guy, very not hip, obviously, but he's like, "Good job," you're coaching her, "You're doing great." Meanwhile, you see the mix engineer, and he's like, he's just all over the board.
That's funny.
Right? And so she's singing, she's like, "My heart shall go on, and I actually sound good." And then the camera pans and it kind of goes through the wall, and it gets into the actual recording booth. "My heart shall go on, and I don't sound good at all." And then it goes back into the booth. It's like, "And that's why I love you, baby." And it's just like, and then they rap, and she's done, and the recording engineer just falls out of his chair.
He's so exhausted, probably.
Yeah. So that's like I said, we got an app for that.
We got enough for that. Come on.
Auto-tune and Melodyne and
Auto-tune,
quantization.
yeah.
Which actually, so my friend Auto Maria, she made a post about, we make fun of auto-tune for vocalists, but we don't make fun of the fact that a guitarist will have a pedal board that's 18 feet wide, and 4 feet deep with 9,000 pedals. And my response is if you're using auto-tune as an effect, like if you shared "You Believe in Life After Love," right? She was probably the first to use auto-tune not to fix her voice, but as an effect.
Yeah. But that was about to be my argument. I was like, well, guitarists have those pedal boards because they're effects. Right. They don't change the pitch of the guitar.
No. Although,
some can, but
although you have to admit, there are some guitarists that cover up their lousy guitar playing with, lots of distortion, lots of chorus, lots of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you put enough effects on there, and geez, I don't know, was that an A flat or an A natural?
It will cover some stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially lots of distortion. But to get around that is if you're a good guitar player but want to play distorted guitars like metal stuff, is you turn the gain down. You don't need all that gain, and it gives it more of a natural sound, and you'll hear the mistakes even though it's distorted,
Right. Well, that's if you're using some sort of distortion pedal, because one of the ways you get distortion is by overdriving the gain.
Right, that's what I meant. Like, you're using a distortion pedal or a distortion setting on your amp. Turn the gain knob down. Not like too obviously, you're gonna lose the effect.
Yeah, you'll end up being a twangy.
You don't need as much gain as a lot of people think they need when they're trying to achieve a heavy.
It's time.
So right, I still have 22 minutes on mine. All right. You are. That's right. You don't need your LMEs.
I don't have any LMEs.
No, you don't. You don't have the LMEs. Did she leave?
No, that's not
Somebody else. Yeah.
It's a completely different engine.
Ooh, excuse me.
We're going on 6 weeks of me telling myself I need to sharpen my knife and not doing it.
I haven't done it. It was an app for that. A reminder app, that is. Believe it or not, I actually use it quite often. I make lists. Not so much with that app, but I use the reminder app.
Wait, is that what it's called, really? Reminder app?
That's the one on my phone. You have the same thing.
Let me guess.
Yeah, I'll show you.
iPhone.
Yeah, it's because it's an iPhone thing. Yeah, reminders. It's one of the built-in apps, I didn't download or anything. It's one of Apple's things. But you can set them to be recurring, if you need to. Like I have a couple things that recur. And then I've used it quite a few times for one-shot stuff. It's like sometimes in the morning there'll be a note for me to turn the crock pot on or something, like at 10:30 or whatever. And so I'll put a reminder in there because a lot of times I get busy coding or doing other stuff, and then I forget That's happened before where it's like, oh crap, it's 12:30. I was supposed to turn this on like 2 hours ago. You know.
Yeah.
That's happened to me in the past. So now I use the reminder app quite often. I also have a notes app where I make lists with it. That's where I've been keeping my beer recipe stuff. You know what I mean? I think you have the same app as well because it's just part of the iOS, suite of apps that comes with it.
Now that app I use for exactly the same reason.
Yeah, comes in quite handy. All right. I'm going to look at a couple things on my recipe. So apparently the author of this post, whose recipe he shared, wow, are you making bread? Looks like you're making
dry
dough.
malt extract.
Apparently he won the competition with his recipe. So
Ooh,
yeah.
good deal.
Did he win or did he enter with this? I can't remember. Maybe he did win. I don't know. I have to redo it again, but let me check my notes. Yes, you are. We know this. Wow, this calls for chilling the wort down to like 64 degrees before pitching the.
That's still ale temperatures. Though.
Yeah.
But it's going to affect.
Well,
it's going to affect how your yeasts
Right.
they produce. The cooler your yeast, the less fruity flavors they're going to put off.
So like he even writes in the little tip section, like if you wanted to make it stronger, I could have put more, I could have changed the grain bill to give it more sugars. Like he says this style does lend itself well to higher gravities. So I wouldn't be afraid to dial up the grain extract bill slightly to approach a 7 to 8% ABV region, which whatever. This will be fine. I mean, with the 2 pounds or the 6 pounds of light malt extract plus the pound of corn sugar, that should be pretty strong. I imagine.
So I just went with 6 pounds of Pilsen Light. Well,
Yeah, mine's the golden light.
I'm not going to say I went with that. That's what Ben and Trevor threw in there.
Oh, okay. That's the recommended for that.
Right. Well, when you're an extract brewer, you kind of are at the mercy of whatever's going on.
Right. I don't know for sure, but I imagine the Pilsen is probably the lightest of that style, the
I
extract.
think so. Well, Pilsners, I mean, you got to think Coors Light, Budweiser, Coors,
Right.
all of them, they're all Pilsners.
Man, I'm already at 60 degrees.
160, yeah, I could kill mine too. It was too.
But I even had it down very low earlier. That's right. Is that both your pouches? Or both your deals?
Threw everything in there.
Now, if you don't want to, I have roll flocks. If you want to use Irish moss, you're welcome to use Irish moss in yours if you want. Unless you want to just stick with the roll flock. I have
Well, maybe we
some
should
roll flocks somewhere.
use up your Irish moss so it doesn't end up just going to waste like the last one.
Well,
Can I
it's
have the
only-
human flame back?
It's only a teaspoon, so that's not that much. But between the two of us, yeah, we can burn it. I'll put it in the refrigerator too, just to kind of help keep it going a little bit longer. All right, let me get that little teaspoon measuring deal I have.
Well, if we ever actually remember to use the whirly flock and the Irish moss,
I've been using roll flock.
have you? I forget every time.
No, I've been dropping the tablet. The last 3 years, I've dropped the tablet in.
Well, I probably have too then because we grew together.
I'm pretty sure you did.
Yeah. All right, so you remember.
I know because I'm almost out of roll flock. So.
Well, I'll bring mine over because I got the whole package because I always forget. And I'm alone again. I'm so lonesome I could cry. Actually, I'm not. I'm doing pretty well. One day we're going to get 2 cameras so I can show you what's going on. Right now, this looks like a freaking milkshake. It's a milkshake in a pot. Milkshake in a pot. See that hand motion? Ready? Milkshake in a pot. Good hand motion, huh? Stir it up. So the tricky thing about dry malt extracts, for those of you who know, you know, and those of you who don't know, you don't know. I mean, because if you knew, then you would be the people who knew, but you don't know. Therefore, you are the people who don't know. Point being, when this stuff boils, it gets stupid frothy, and then you add your hops, and it goes all over the place. It's not a good time. But that's for a few minutes. So I forgot my computer and my iPad and the camera and everything at home. We're using Steve's computer today. Which means ooh, scary monsters. Hi.
Wow.
Yeah, scary monster. For sure. What are you up to, girl?
I don't even know.
You don't even know? What, like 4'2"?
Cracker.
4'3" maybe?
4'11".
Oh, 4'11". You're so tall. You can almost ride the roller coasters now.
That's me. That's why we have extensions in my shoes, so I'm tall.
When we went to Disney World and they had Space Mountain. Oh, thank you. Definitely, the boys were right. It's like just kind of poof their hair up. It's like, nope, they make it. There's the line.
They're fine.
He makes it.
Good.
There's this guy. He looked at me and he looked at my kids. He's like, "Are you sure they're gonna be okay?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, they'll be fine." And they were. They loved it.
Cool.
The boys love roller coasters.
Yeah, me too. I'm a fan of roller coasters.
Sorry.
That is your training.
Anytime, man. Anytime.
She lost it.
Also your training.
What you doing, kid?
Hmm?
What are you doing? What you need?
That's what I'm looking for. I'm putting those back.
Oh, so they're fine.
What are you looking for?
Finally turned on your old computer that runs Minecraft. It's been 2 hours and it's still updating everything. I haven't turned anything on in like 5 months.
Yeah, it's good.
Well, the
Wow.
one that you bought me doesn't run Minecraft or anything.
It won't run it?
It'll completely lag. You can't even move it, it'll just log you out. And then if I even want to shut off my computer, I have to completely restart it from Minecraft. So it took an hour and a half to load a world. So I gave up.
Well, I didn't buy that computer. I didn't buy that computer. Mom won it. Mom won that computer at her company Christmas party.
Oh, that one.
And so
Yeah, that makes sense.
she and I talked about it, and I was like, well, we'll just give it to you. But obviously, it's not a very powerful computer, but won't even run Minecraft. So
Going from Minecraft, it barely loads any.
it'll be good for writing school papers and checking your email.
Oh,
pretty
not
much.
even. It takes forever to load those up too. Like for school, I had to use my Chromebook because it wasn't even loading up my class.
Chromebook?
Yeah, my Chromebook runs better than it.
That's saying something.
School and my home.
Problem with Chromebooks is they're so proprietary. You are so locked into stuff with them. You know? I mean, Google Chromebook.
It's
You gotta run
no different than an Apple
Google
product.
products.
You're locked into Apple too.
I know, but hey!
Light.
Have it.
It's okay. Thank you for
Yeah.
remembering to turn off the light, even though we're still in here.
Yeah.
For years, it took me to train my kids to turn the lights off when they were done. Now they're so good at it, they do it when we're using the light. They'll lock me out here. They'll turn the light off. It's just like, really?
Are we locked in right now?
No, I don't think she locked the door. She used to, and Bailey as well. Lock the door. Yep. Hey, we're out here.
Again, that's all you.
No, it's no different than the Apple ecosystem. I mean, because on a Chromebook, you're essentially an Android device, and you can still download apps to it using the Android store, just like on iOS device or iPhone.
Well, I think it's even more restrictive.
I don't think it is.
Because Bill, he does Big Bill's Garage, and he has to use this weird video editing program. When I make real videos, right? I use this program called Film Express, and it is super powerful. Like it is up there with what is it? Final Cut Pro, Apple's version.
Right. Let me interrupt real quick. Is he trying to use his Chromebook for doing video editing and stuff?
Video production. Exactly.
Okay, that's not what a Chromebook is for. A Chromebook is for checking your email and surfing the web. And that is it, man. It's not meant for complex operations.
I know. But people overdrive all sorts of things.
Here.
See a half-ton pickup truck with 1 ton of hay on it?
Yep.
There you go.
Well, then he can't complain that it's not working right.
Well, he's not complaining. He's not complaining. I'm just saying that it's a very restrictive environment. I don't know. I don't own one. Wendy doesn't like.
They don't have the power to do that stuff. They're not meant for that. They're meant to be a casual thing.
Yeah.
Read your ebook. Check your email.
I know that Wendy doesn't like hers.
Surf the web.
I don't own one because the reality is, even though I do check my email and I do surf the web, when I buy a computer, that's not why I'm buying it.
Right.
I have a very specific purpose for why I buy a computer.
Right. All I meant is that Chromebook, the intention is casual use.
I get it.
Not production,
I get it. But I'm just saying, they lock you in pretty hard. And you're right. I mean, Apple, I've never tried, I don't do apps very much. I've got Twitter and YouTube, I think.
Right.
Twitter. I don't know, I can look at my phone.
I really don't know what you would use an iPad for, other than casual use, reading, surfing the web,
iPad?
chats, As I said, iPad.
Yeah.
Now, and then they have the iPad Pro, which is like so much more money on that. I know artists use it a lot.
Well,
the digital artists will use them,
Me and the boys all have iPad Pros. So I don't view my iPad as very much of a tool, with the exception of the camera. Right. I'll put it on a tripod. The videos on my channel, Jamie Aston, Montana Nights, that channel, the videos of my boys and all that, those were all shot with iPads.
Right.
All the multi-angles.
No, that's fine, because the cameras on those are really good, but as far as like using it beyond casual, I don't know what the purpose is, other than, like I said, on the pros. I know some of the artists use iPad Pros for digital drawing and that are actually used professionally, and it's fine. Unless, now I've heard of enterprises using iPads in place of like desktop PCs to manage stuff.
Yeah.
But I just don't know I don't know who the iPad Pro is for, other than just for people that are going to spend more money on it. Which would be me, because I want one myself. So I'm not trying to look down my nose at people buying a Pro, but just like I kind of step outside myself. It's like, who's this for really? What is a Pro iPad user going to do with it?
I'm a desktop guy though. I really am. I don't even like my laptop. I want my desktop back.
Yeah, I still think desktops have their uses, especially when you need high-end compute power. Graphics designers, like hardcore graphic stuff, not just like photo editing, but like real graphic design.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in the 3D realm, you need that. You need the power of a desktop, man. And you need to be able to upgrade it too.
Well,
I need to get some heat going again.
I think that's kind of where the desktop still upgradable, whereas laptops and all these other things are. Damn. Have some heat, bro.
Heat much?
Bro, do you even heat?
Okay, I have less than 6 minutes left on my steep, so that's cool. Here in about 4 minutes, I'll go grab my liquid malts and get them ready. And then, so better. I think the corn sugar goes in at the same time.
What's that?
So I think the corn sugar or the dextrose goes in at the same time.
Why wouldn't it?
Yeah, let me double check.
I mean, the only time that you would add sugars later is if, like, your original gravity wasn't what you wanted, and so you added sugars to adjust your gravity.
Right?
These pretzels are pretty good.
So his process says, take the grains out, heat it to boiling, remove from the heat, add the liquid malts, and then bring it back to boiling, which I've seen that before.
We used to do it that way.
We did? Okay.
Long ago. Those are all of Terry's recipes.
Yeah, I don't know what
We're done that way.
I don't know what that
Get
means.
it to boiling, take it off the heat, add all your sugars, put it back on. I don't think that's an important distinction. I do think that, we got some boiling going. I do think that the length of your boil is fairly important
Yeah.
because of that whole, I always forget the term for those processes. But basically, the longer it cooks, the sugars and starches that are in here, even without the hops added, all those things, they're undergoing chemical processing right now, Okay. Roiling versus rolling. We are at roiling.
You make a noodle? What are you doing there?
I'm about to blow this right off the top of this pot if I don't get it under control.
Yeah, right. All right. Well, look at that. All right. I'll be right back. I'm going to grab my LMEs.
All right.
And a ladle. All right. Can it be done?
No, you're gonna get sticky. I know what you're
Bite
asking.
your tongue. Bite your tongue, sir.
I know what the question was. Can you add all this without getting sticky hands? No, you cannot.
Bite your tongue.
Can I establish a decent rolling boil here at some point? That would be cool. I'm beginning to doubt I can do that. Take the spoon out of there.
2. Whoa. Why is that so hot? I didn't turn that up that high. Not on purpose, at least.
I can't see.
Whoa.
I don't know if that's like a rolling boil or a very, very aggressive simmer.
Semantics.
All right, that's a roller. Okay, you ready for this? We're about to add hops.
You ready for this?
Let's see what happens here.
All right.
Please don't explode. Well, that's happened before, man. When we didn't get it under control before we.
The super boil over we get.
Yeah, it is everywhere. And look, it's trying. It's trying right now. But I got it under control first, so.
Thank you. I'm sorry I made a whack with it.
So you get my thumb sticky. Thanks, man.
All right.
It didn't taste too bad, though.
Going.
All right. Let's start the timer.
Really. Get a little bit of a hot wart in here. Yeah, I need to mop my garage again here.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, it's cross-threaded. It's definitely leaking.
There, that's fine.
So, have you ever considered this? We sterilize the phone, we sterilize the water wash, we sterilize the carboy, we sterilize the wart chiller, we sterilize everything,
Right?
pour it all in there, and then we just dump water in. Non-boiled, nothing special water.
True, huh?
I mean, it hasn't bit us yet, so I don't think it's a big deal.
I guess some people boil their water and sterilize it
Do they?
before they add the
Well, that would kind of make
additional
sense.
water.
Are we getting a hot break going? Sure looks like it.
Yeah, definitely getting this. I'm so glad that didn't open.
I'm glad it didn't open too, because you probably would have swore a lot. We'd have gone right to R plus. PG-13, NC-17, R!
In a matter of a quarter of a second. All right. I'm sticky.
Yeah, just go wash your hands.
After I add my sugar, I will be happy to wash my hands. That looks like something else. I use the blade of cutting.
The answer is yes, if I can find it.
Dankeschön.
What is that thing? That is not a hot break coagulant. Well, maybe it is.
What have you discovered?
I don't know, some really chunky thing in there.
Here you go.
All right, that's a good hot break. And a really good rolling boil. For those of you who have made it this far into the broadcast and are watching on the replay, hot break is where the proteins and other things, starches and stuff, coagulate out and kind of, they precipitate out and like clump together. Flocculate is the term for yeast. And you've got two places where that happens. You've got the hot break and then the cold break, where you get your beer down to temperature again. Both are important. That's one of the reasons it's important to chill your beer quickly. And they impact the flavor of your beer and the clarity of your beer. They allow you to have less turbidity.
Ooh.
Yeah, big words.
Right, I need to unstickify myself.
In other words, go wash your hands.
Yes. Okay. I am behind on the beer.
Are you?
You're done.
Am I? Oh, wow. Okay.
I was down to about a sixth of a glass, so I will catch up here shortly.
All right. That is rock and rolling nicely. Got that under control.
Okay, I got a ways to go.
That would just crank it, man.
Yeah, it's
You got most of your sugars off the bottom. You're not going to scorch it, really.
no, I kept it going really
Yeah.
good.
The ability of water to absorb heat at an insane pace will save it from burning.
Right? All right, let's get this
Beer?
timer set. Absolutely. What is my first? Okay. So, Chinook. Chinook.
You got me a Scotch Ale. You got a Scotch Ale. You
Wow.
get that for me. You get that for me.
For us.
For us.
But in your honor, because I know you like it.
I love Scotch Ale. You are a good friend.
That was the surprise I was referring to earlier. I'm like, I'm not gonna surprise. All right, I need a Chinook.
do like Scotch ales.
Bird call. Chinook.
So you went with Chinook? Why'd you go with Chinook?
That's what the recipe called for.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you were kind of doing the recipe.
Yeah, I'm doing this recipe. These are high alpha acids, so they're good for bittering.
So mine is kind of going for the citrusy thing, right? I didn't realize. It
Mine
says,
is well too. I have 3 ounces of citra going in mine.
well, no, I chose Centennial, just kind of hip shot it. I actually looked at the alpha acids. That's why I chose Centennial, because I think some of the others were way too low. You know, some of your other classic bittering hops were way too low. And it was just, and then a couple of them were way too high. They were like 12. I was like, no, I don't need to go that aggressive. But well, what was Centennial? And then on the package it says citrus and lemongrass. I'm like, oh, that fits right in with the profile of what I want to make.
Right. Your color has a nice breakfasty color.
I think so. Very breakfasty.
Totally breakfasty, man.
Kind of brown, like a pancake.
All right. Maybe a biscuit.
Maybe the same color as the last 3 beers I have, so I better put a label on this one.
Yeah, it might help you. Color code it somehow.
So as much as I like Ben and Trevor, I am pretty sure they missed an ingredient on the Newcastle Cone.
Oh.
It should be dark, and I don't have a dark beer in my house.
Did you come out dark, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible.
Kind of chilly today.
Yeah, spring isn't quite here. I mean, it kicks off what, next weekend officially? 21st or something like that?
Monday?
Can't remember. Maybe it's
Tomorrow is the 21st.
It should be this weekend then. Yeah, you're right. I'm not for that.
Apps only work if you use them.
So, something mentioning here. I know it's on the school calendar, the one we have hanging up, the printed calendar for the
What's
school.
that?
The calendar we get from the school district every year, it does have the first day of spring on there.
I thought it was March 21st.
Yeah, I thought it was tomorrow. So, if today is the spring equinox, you should be able to stand an egg up like this, and it won't top lower, like a rye.
With no idea how badly I saw it.
We can do it.
Seriously?
Yeah.
It works?
It works. And then,
So now, wait. Is it like you can do it easily? Is that the idea?
I don't know about easily, but you can get it to balance and stand up. And what was cool, the next day when I did it, it was tilted like this.
Really? Oh, take a raw egg and just balance it and leave it there.
Yeah. After we get down here, we can do it. I'm not gonna leave it because I'm gonna waste it, but I'll balance it. That's something to do with the gravitational pull. Like at this point in the year, it seems to only work on the equinoxes, not on the solstices though.
I will totally balance that egg, start the iPad filming, plug it in, and just let it go. problem is, I think. Well, I guess I could turn the brightness on my screen down a lot, couldn't I? I noticed when I FaceTime or do any sort of video stuff, the iPad consumes electricity faster than it can charge.
Oh.
I also think my iPad is. I think the battery's slowly getting up.
Oh. Yeah, I'm not surprised because devices like that only have so many recharges before they start just not taking much of a charge at all. It'll say it's 100%, but it's only at like maybe 80% capacity. You know?
Yeah.
Supposedly there's an app you can get. It'll tell you how your battery's doing.
There's an app for that.
It might even be part of the operating system. I can't remember. Might even be built in. Get that hops ready. Oh, yep. All right, come on. You can do this. Got kind of a problem on the top line. I can't tell.
Yeah.
That dextrose is doing that.
Yeah, I have the same thing.
It'll get there.
I just let it go, and then eventually you'll see a bloop bloop.
Right. Okay. It's close. Excuse me.
So, I tell you, I got the accordion part for the Drink 'em All song.
No, you didn't tell me you got it. You said you sent off stuff. And
Send it back.
Yeah. What you wanted?
Yeah, it'll work. It'll definitely work. There's a little more oompa than I really want. You know, he didn't play quite as legato as I was hoping.
Oh.
But,
Did you tell him that, or?
well,
I mean, like initially, hey, this is what we're looking. What I'm looking
well,
for.
I did tell him it's like the Dropkick Murphys going out in style is kind of the sound I'm going after. So, you know.
Right.
But I've also got it sent off to a bagpipe player.
Yeah. You mentioned that you had to send it off to the other instrument pieces you needed.
And when the bagpipes come in, that's going to smooth it out a lot. And I might add an electric guitar.
Ah.
I don't know. I need to redo the lyrics. Not rewrite them, but I mean,
Rearrange them, maybe.
well, no, I haven't recorded. I was just listening to the scratch track, and my lyrics sound so angry. It's like, this is not an angry song. So, work on sounding less angry.
Next time we have that garage door open, let's get the hose hooked up to the wort chiller and just kind of have it standing by. Oh, it needs to be
Well, I was thinking
sanitized.
at the half hour mark, we could put the work chiller.
Oh, in there? Yeah.
Yep.
You forget to get wire, man.
Starting to turn into a work slinky.
This thing needs to be cleaned up. There's chunky pieces on it left over from last
Okay.
time.
I'll be here
Okay.
eating pretzels, watching beer. Screwing around on my phone. Because why not? Damn it. Never fails. Never fails.
Okay.
So
Oh, come on, really?
I tried to catch it, but then I fell over. Literally, I fell over.
Man, this is the kind of stuff that just makes me. All right, let me do this so I can get my thing back on track.
All right, I'm sorry, man. I literally did. I saw it creeping up, and I got up, and I couldn't get over, and I fell back down. Sorry, Steve.
It's all right. I really need to mop it here again. Was that getting close?
I didn't either until I looked at my phone. I looked over. It's like creeping. I was like, ah! And I couldn't reach. I stood up to move over, and I fell back down. And then, yeah. It'll be fine though. Maybe we should go buy drip pens.
Maybe it's time to stop brewing for a while, man. You know how bad it pisses me off, dude. Are you gonna roll or not? See. Come on.
You're like super close. You just gotta find that happy medium.
Well, whenever the next time is, I'm not gonna freaking leave until it's boiling point then. So after I already got the roller going. All right, start again. Timer. It's infuriating. This really pisses me off.
I know exactly how you feel.
It really pisses me off.
And
Not only do I have a mess to clean up, it screws up the sanctity of the process, man.
well, it's a screw up, and it's not fun to do that, And yeah,
And I know I'm mad at myself because I didn't realize how close it was to boiling, and I walked away from it. So it's on me,
Well, I probably could have watched a little closer. I didn't realize. Or maybe gone over and sat in your chair so I was close enough to the controls. That was the thing. It's like I saw it. I could have caught it, but I couldn't get to the damn turn-off thing fast enough.
All right, I think my next hop goes in at 40 minutes? No, okay, not till 20 minutes. I got a ways to go. Oh yeah, I forgot to grab that.
Oh, hey,
Teaspoon.
like, you're going to garbage? Dude, I'm fat. There's enough of this fatness.
Yeah, I hear you.
I'm done being fat, dude. Hey, my bike's fixed.
Oh, good.
He doesn't care. He's just mad because his wort boiled over, which I totally get. I hate it when my wort boils over. All right, we're gonna go ahead and. Oh, he took the wort chiller. Go ahead and put this over here.
This is the little gadget I was looking for. This thing's amazing because you can go from
Oh,
a tablespoon down to half a teaspoon.
I actually have one of those.
You just gotta
It's
set it where you want it.
It's very similar to that.
Okay.
You, my friend, eat a beer.
I think that's good. So when we're ready for the wort chiller, it's in the sink. I noticed it just has some chunkies on the top area left over from last time. We just didn't quite rinse it off as well as it could have been.
I got you.
I think after this, I'm gonna wash my boiler or my stand as well. It's all sticky and it's full of crap because of the boil overs. Made a couple boil overs on this thing now.
Well, I've had my fair share on mine.
All right. Well,
Here, drink a beer. It will make you feel better. Oh.
that. Go there. Had a good boil.
Boundary Bay is not a bad brewery.
No, they do pretty good. Between Boundary Bay and Port Townsend, I think they make some pretty good Scotch ales.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think I kind of like the Port Townsend one a little bit better, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Personally. I mean, they're both good, but I just seem to favor the Port Townsend one just a little bit more.
I'm super unpicky, so I definitely like this flavor, though. I know I was tasting those beers yesterday, and maybe it's just because I probably should have gone and fully brushed my teeth, because it's in the evening, so and everything that I eaten, plus all the coffee I drink and everything else, it just like might have impacted. But they all tasted the same. It's like 3 beers here. They all taste the same. They're all supposed to be different too.
I know, right? It's like, wait a minute.
But I don't have a really sensitive palate, that's the thing. It's like I just don't. It's like, is that good? Yes. How about that? Yes. How about that? Yes. Which one's better? Yes. It doesn't. What do you mean? Which one's? What do you mean? Yes. It's like, yes. I like them all.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think just because of military service and just eating what's there, you just tend not to be picky. You're just like, oh, I'll eat it.
It's true. After you've had undercooked rice and ketchup and mustard from single serving packets, no less, dude. Not from a bottle. Single serving packets.
Yeah.
When that's supper or lunch at Mid-Rats for like a month,
All
it's
over
like you kind of will eat anything.
you just kind of accept what's given to you. I guess it's kind of how prisoners feel, man. I don't think they have any say in the menu. It's like, oh, I'll have the steak tonight,
Key difference, we didn't commit any crimes to get that level of food.
I know, right? It's like, wait a minute.
Yeah, not gonna
Were
lie.
we protecting the nation?
Yeah, what do we do? Aren't we the good guys? The white hats, all that fun stuff? Yeah, not gonna lie. I am not on the whole let's treat prisoners good bandwagon. It's like, no, they committed a crime. They knew what the crime was, That's like, and they knew the level of it, right? So like people who got like felony charges for marijuana possession back in the day. It's like, is marijuana possession a big deal? I don't really think so. No, obviously it's
Not
legal
anymore.
here.
Not anymore, yeah.
But here's the point.
Even back then, it wasn't that big of a deal.
Right, but here's the point, though, is like you knew the gravity.
Oh, right.
Of that.
Made the choice,
You knew it was a felony. It's not like you could talk your way out of that one. They said this is a felony possession charge, right?
Right.
That law was clear. It's not like, oh, I didn't know. I thought it was just a fine. It's like, no, that you knew. And so if you commit,
especially if you took it across state lines.
right. So if you do an action where you know what the penalty is, then it's like, I'm sorry. Then it's not.
You don't deserve to get a PhD while you're incarcerated.
Right. Well, and it's
no
not,
cost.
It's not even so much that you don't. It's like, I guess the way I feel about it is like, it's not what you did, it's the fact that you knew the severity of what you did, or at least
right. No, I understand.
it's perceived severity, and you did
knew
it anyways.
You were breaking the law. You knew what you were doing.
You knew it was a felony. You knew that. It's like, is it fair that a guy in 2022 can smoke weed all he wants in his own house, whereas in 1972 he was a felon? No, it's not fair, but here's the deal. Is the guy in 2022,
right?
It's legal.
It's legal. I believe a lot of those old, low-end drug cases, I believe a lot of them were reviewed. And I think they even let a lot of people out. They're like, yeah, this doesn't apply anymore, so you're free to go. I think that happened, actually.
Which I think is totally, I think that's the right thing to do.
Like, laws have changed, you're free. Your drug charge is gone.
But as far as any sort of restitution or anything like that,
right?
Because no,
I'm sorry. No one owes you anything.
Yeah,
you broke the law at the time. You did your time. You're free to go now.
Yeah, so you knew what the law was, and you decided to do it anyways. And so what you're really saying is you're just giving a big middle finger to the law.
Right.
That's why killing cops is such a big deal. It's because not only are you killing people, but you are attacking the law right there. I don't think it really should be that. I think murder versus murdering a cop, it's like,
murder's murder.
Yeah, but I guess when you're shooting at cops, it's like you're really saying, I really don't respect. It's like the whole system.
The ultimate.
I don't care about the system.
Right. The ultimate F you.
Yeah, so it's like, that's not a crime of passion. But it's an interesting discussion about whoever whoever the man was, it was with Breonna Taylor.
Who's that?
Breonna Taylor is the paramedic who was killed with a no-knock warrant. Apparently, she was killed in her bed. She was a victim of attrition. Some people say that I mean, if you listen to the stories, you get these people. She was shot down in cold blood. It's like, no, she caught bullets that were flying around in her house. You know.
So was it the case of mistaken location kind of thing?
Right.
So I think I remember that now.
So it was a no-knock warrant.
So they pretty much kicked her door in, thinking she was a criminal.
Right. They kicked her door in. Her boyfriend, or at least the man that she was living with, was there. So home intruders come into his house. He shoots back.
Oh yeah, he didn't know what's going on. Yeah.
Which, you know, with that in mind, it's like he fired at police. It's like no. You take that charge and you throw it out the window.
Right.
He fired at intruders
He didn't know
in his house.
Yeah.
Right.
No knock warrant. Nobody identifies themselves as this is the police. You know.
Yeah. They just come in. It's like me. I won't be. My wife will be dropping you left and right. And let me tell you something. My wife's a better shot than that dude is.
I believe it.
Yeah, if they'd have come into my house, there'd have been dead cops. You know? And then when they said, oh, she's a cop killer, it's like, no. She killed an intruder. You know? And the same with that dude. It's like, no, he did not shoot at police. He shot at an intruder, which is his right. Absolutely.
That stuff happened so quick in such a short amount of time, like seconds, like 6 seconds. Your brain is not going to freaking realize what you're doing until it's over.
Right, especially if when the fight or flight instinct kicks in, you're more on the fight side.
That's what I mean.
Which is about where you're going to be if you're in your house. You got no place left to go.
Yeah, you're dead asleep. All of a sudden, your door's kicked open. Guess what you're going to do? Defend yourself, man. You know, and it sucks that people got shot and killed, but you gotta strip away all the, lack of better words, all the emotion out of it. You gotta look at the facts of what happened.
So, anyways, it was a big deal, and then there's the whole say her name thing, that went on, which that's neither here nor there, but just focusing on what he did, right?
Right.
It's like, yeah, totally support him in that. Now, whether he was a criminal too, because apparently he wasn't supposed to have a gun, he was like a felon himself, and it's like, okay, so that's a different thing, but the whole shooting, and especially if you try and spin it with the whole, he shot at cops, it's like, no, he did not.
Han shot first.
Yes, but I'm trying to connect that. I don't think it's not getting there. It's a different philosophical point.
I was just throwing the one little chaotic thing out there.
Yep. But you get what I'm saying, right?
Right.
It's like he didn't shoot at cops. He shot at intruders. Now if they'd have knocked on the door, said, open up, police, which, you know what the thing is
and if he shot for that, well, that's on his ass,
in today's day and age, it's like, hold on, I'm calling the police.
I know, right? We are the police. I don't believe you.
I don't believe you. I've seen The Godfather. I don't know if they did that in The Godfather, but
I don't know. But I'm sure there's been plenty of movies or situations where people have impersonated cops. I mean, there's been like rapists that would pull over women acting like a cop and rape them. Okay, this was like 15, 20 years ago, but
that's like common. That's like a common suggestion for women, particularly being pulled over. It's like you don't pull over. Like a cop throws on his lights and pulls you over. You keep driving until you find a very well lit, very public area, and pull in.
No, that's probably a good idea.
Because
it's probably not likely, but it can happen though.
Tell you what, that's just that's 1d20. You don't want to roll, man.
Wow, you brought that up. Look how fat I look in this, man.
You ain't the only one.
Humpty Dumpty.
Did I tell you my bike got fixed?
You did.
So I'm excited about
I
that.
went running last week.
You went running?
I actually ran, yeah.
Like fast moving?
Well, jogging.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Did you almost die?
3 weeks prior to that, I was walking.
How bad did it hurt?
Actually, it didn't hurt that bad. I was a little sore the next day, like my quads, but otherwise it was fine. I didn't run super far. I don't think I even made the full 2 miles just because I haven't ran so long.
I actually think I'm fatter than you.
Didn't want to hurt myself.
I just dress better.
Because I'm old. No, but 3 weeks prior to last week, I had walked not every day.
You mentioned that you were walking.
And I was kind of not like doing the old person power walk, but I was walking with purpose. You know, I was walking with purpose and taking a lot of hills in an effort that hopefully would kind of boost my cardiovascular a little bit, which I think it did. And then I ran on Monday. So
Well, I'm gonna start riding my bike to work.
yeah, you mentioned that. That's good, man, because we're not getting any younger. I know old is a state of mind, but the body is the body, and we have to.
It's only a state of mind to an extent.
Exactly. We still have to take care of our body.
I mean, there's old is a state of mind, and then there is the number one.
Old's an attitude.
Number one reason for injury in old men is thinking they are still young men. That's a big injury.
I think I finally realized that I can't drink like I'm 20 anymore. I finally accepted that.
Do you know I never did drink like I was 20?
Yeah.
Well, wait, there was a brief.
I was about to say we got some good nights. We tied them off a couple times.
Well, yeah, but no, I mean, like I was never really a wild.
It's like it's a good thing your wife's picking you up today.
Yeah, definitely. But
no, I get what you're saying. Though. You weren't much of a party animal in your younger days.
Like before the Navy when we were drinking underage, it wasn't this whole party get blasted thing. It's like we were just drinking beer, hanging out.
Yeah, that's how it was with me most of the time because my friend John from El Paso was going to come visit. He's like 6 years older than me.
Mm-hmm.
And so
it was easy to get beer.
Yeah, we always had beer, but it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't like oh you got beer. It was just like go get some beer and we just hang out and drink beer, you know?
Yeah.
So it wasn't like a big deal. Yeah.
You mean kind of like it should be?
Right.
Like Europe does it? And you know me, I'm not a big old look at Europe, they do it perfect thing. That's not my thing. But tell you what, they got that one right.
Figured out. I think their culture handles alcohol a little better than American culture does as well.
Well, and the big
generally,
reason, I mean, you know what the big reason for that is?
Prohibition.
Protestant Christianity.
Yeah, Puritanism and all that.
Yep. Yeah. You know, actually, so the Puritans, you know, they get. Well, I don't know. I haven't been to school in 30 years or so, but the Puritans kind of get put on this whole, you know, these religiously persecuted people, and they were looking for religious freedom.
That's how they're perceived, yeah.
Right. They were whack jobs.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. They were. I mean, they were so on the fringes that mainstream Christianity, not the governments, mainstream Christianity said, "Yeah, you guys are crazy. You guys are out there." And they were the rattlesnake revival folks.
Kind of like that one branch of Catholicism that's kind of just excessive.
Like I think that's the Jesuits.
I remember hearing about. I mean, it was a movie and a book, but they're a real branch. But they're just like way too fundamental, and even the Catholic Church is like, no.
Yeah. So I mean, if you look at all the old school religions, Orthodoxy, Roman Catholics, your old Lutherans, right? The Episcopalian Church. Let's just look at their view on alcohol. It was never that crazy, you know. And the idea of ugly churches.
It just seemed like the idea of enjoyment was a sin.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, really?
Like I said, the Puritans were really weird.
Where there was drinking something or sexual. It's like, oh, I can't have any kind of enjoyment because I must be influenced by evil powers if I'm having fun or enjoying myself.
Yeah. And
that's not the case, people.
There's this heresy called Gnosticism. Gnosticism. Gnosticism.
Okay.
And that heresy, one of its problems is that it holds that matter is bad. So the spiritual is good and the physical is bad.
Well, that's just stupid.
It is. you know, you're absolutely right. And like Orthodoxy doesn't hold to that at all. It says, look right here in the Bible. God made all the fish and he looked and he saw they were good. Good. Fish are physical things and they're good.
And they can sustain life.
Yes.
Give me a fish, feed me for a day. Teach me to fish, feed me for life.
It's true, but they're little bones.
I know. I mean, certain fish I do like. I like halibut. You know,
mussels are good.
Mussels are good. I like swordfish. Oh God!
Rapier or broad?
All jokes aside, there's been a few times in my life. It's pricey, of course, where I've had a nice swordfish cutlet because it almost cooks like a steak. Like you can grill like a steak. You know?
Well, you can do that with salmon too.
Yeah, I know.
You can actually grill
In
it.
fact,
I seem to have lost my phone.
I'm thinking, what we call
There
it?
it is.
I'm thinking this summer, once things are nice and warm, I want to do some salmon on the grill, where buy the fresh fillet, the big fillets,
Mm-hmm.
and butter it, rosemary, and whatever. Excuse me, got a bubble in my throat. Make my voice sound funny. Bubble it, bubble it. Prep it properly, but put it in foil, and then grill it inside the foil so that it, does whatever it does. It comes out really good in the end. I've done it one other time.
Oh, that's
Lots of butter, lots of rosemary, lemon,
all the good things.
all the good things that go into a fish.
Nice. Yeah, we're not a real big fish family, but all right, I'm gonna go.
Neither are we, man.
I'm gonna go wash my hands because somehow I think it's sticky.
I think it's probably boil over. I mean, thank you for trying, but it happens, dude. It happens.
I wasn't quite as angry as you were, but I was pretty frustrated because I couldn't get up.
Right.
Went up, down,
I'm more angry with myself, not you, of course, not you.
No,
at all. You tried, man.
I was
I'm
here.
angry with
I should
myself that I
have
stepped out when it was obviously on the cusp. And it's
We're
like,
failures, Steve. We're failures.
no, we're
So obviously, we're just gonna have to drink a lot of beer and try again.
sounds good to me, man.
Wash hands.
Dude, we haven't even got a bot on there yet, so it's kind of funny.
Somebody. In 20 years, someone's gonna watch this and they're gonna die.
We're living in our 60s, man.
I
But
will
you know
take
what?
fame whenever I can get
If
it.
we do this every 2 weeks for the next 20 years, we will be master home brewers, man.
Right.
Extraordinaires.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, folks, for everybody watching, I don't know, I get really frustrated when things like that happen, and I shouldn't let it bother me that much, but it does, obviously. What is that? Looks like something solid was floating around in there. I just like things to go, probably like anybody else in the world, I like things to go smooth and then not make a mess, but it happens, so just more to clean up later. I'll get over it. Not that you probably care about how I feel, but anyway, I'm getting kind of a crust on the edge of my boiling kettle here. The problem with boilovers is I'm not sure if I'm using the right words for it. From what I've experienced is it kind of scorches your wort a little bit. It just gets way too hot. Like ideally, you should pitch your hops in like right at that cusp of boiling, right before it actually does that. And then lower your temperature down so you can get a nice roller, not a roiling boil like you're cooking noodles or something, but just a smooth rolling boil. It just takes finesse and practice, obviously. And some days you're on, some days you're off. Like my mistake, I walked away. Rule number 1, don't walk away from a boil when it's close. So anyway, live and learn. I've been doing this for years. I'm still making mistakes. So for any new potential brewers out there, anybody can make a mistake, and it's going to happen. It's the nature of brewing. Even the best guys can still make mistakes.
Just happens with us more often than
Yeah,
not.
we just happen to make more mistakes than anybody else.
So we're gonna put this here. Hold this for a minute.
The water's going to come up again. That's right.
That's it right
We're
there.
going to clean this up.
Just kind of hook it in the leg of yours. The water is gonna come out.
It's fine.
Right there. Perfect.
Tomorrow, once everything's cleaned up, I'll go ahead and give it a good mopping, since I did buy that one mop specifically for the garage for these types of instances.
I figure after we shut everything off, get into the brewing portion, and then we move on to drinking, I'll mop this up.
No, that's not your fault, man.
I know it's not, but you're my friend, dude. I don't mind helping you keep your garage clean. We need to clean that up. So let me do it.
All right. I'll get a hot thing of water ready for you.
That's what I would do.
I think last time I just used the
That would be
purge
perfect.
bucket.
I gotta establish my rolling boil. That's one problem with sanitizing this in here, is
Right.
the boil goes away.
Right. It's cold. The metal's cold. It sucks the heat out for a second. That's why I was leaving it the house, hoping it would be a little bit more closer to room temperature. Rumor temperature.
Rumor temperature.
So I officially, I'm going to tell you nerd out on you. I officially started writing my own campaign this weekend, based off some notes I.
Seriously?
Yeah, I'm totally nerding it, man.
Dude,
It's gonna be awesome.
so you're gonna be the DM?
If they want me to DM it, I'm writing it in a way that If someone else wants to play it, they can. They just have to read it.
Dude, if you're the DM, I would totally play.
We can make that happen.
That's fun.
You could actually play hanging out here, even though everybody else will be on, Discord. You could bring your laptop.
I have Discord.
That's what I'm saying. You could get on Discord also and just kind of join the group and we play. Yes, I am a total nerd. I play Dungeons and Dragons most Fridays.
Nothing wrong with that.
Well, I mean, my experience with Dungeons and Dragons goes back to 1986.
Yeah, back when D&D players were complete nerds.
Right, so we were all closet players back.
How the world did you get to be a metal? You didn't let your friends know, did you?
No, some of them played with us also. D&D and metal kind of went together. A lot of times, metalheads didn't care about it. It was part of the thing. In fact, there's some metal bands. That's where I remember us talking about like fantasy metal and stuff. Those dudes are totally D&D players, man.
Fantasy metal.
Oh, it all seems about like wizards and warriors, man.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Fantasy metal. That's what I called it. Like some of the early, like Yngwie Malmsteen, the Swedish guitar prodigy. I mean, you listen to the songs that actually have lyrics and stuff. A lot of his earlier material, it was definitely fantasy metal.
The dragons and the elves.
And all this. The music was all like lots of the Phrygian scale, so you could get a real fantasy sound with that scale. You know what I mean? And it was kind of funny.
Okay, we have gone beyond rolling.
And I've written my own games before, but not under the current edition of Dungeons & Dragons, 5th edition. I've written games back in the earlier days.
Do you know I was once a DM?
You might have told me that.
Long ago. I sucked at it, though. I mean, I didn't really suck at it, but we didn't know the rules. We just kind of winging it.
Roll with it, yeah.
Yeah, just roll the
And
dice.
honestly, there's nothing wrong with that, man.
I mean, we just said, all right, so this is the dice, and these are the points, and let's see what happens.
See what happens, yeah. We'll just roll.
My problem was I kept making up monsters just randomly. And then I idiotically made up a monster that had an eyeball the size of a man. They all died.
Killed them, Jim.
It was like not even. It's like
I have 32 minutes left. You should be getting close, huh?
Yep. Well, no, I should be. Oh, lost my phone again. Oh! I'm 1 minute behind on adding my hops.
What do you have left?
Citra.
No, what do you have left time-wise?
9 minutes. And
Oh,
1 second.
Here, you need to put your Irish moss in if that's what you want to use.
Throw it in there.
I'll get it ready for you now. Or I'll throw it in for you.
Just throw it in.
Yeah, I said throw it in at the 15 minutes, but that's all right. It should still work. All right, dude. I'm gonna put that in mine. Here you go.
Just chuck it in there.
Yeah, my next hop's going to the 20 minutes, and I do it again at the 10-minute mark. So I got to be on point for the next couple minutes, or next, like the last 20 minutes of my boil.
Well, I'm
Right.
thinking it's about time.
Yeah, I got about 10 minutes.
About time to bail on this
Bail?
very popular broadcast. Come back. We gotta do our sign off at least.
Okay.
Even though nobody's really caring. Okay, so where are we going here? All right, so as usual, professionalism, precision, amazingness, huge viewership of 0. So we are doing good, man. All right.
Dude, even the
So-
bots are like, nah.
I can't believe even the boss didn't love us. Wow. All right, so hey, I'm Jamie.
I'm Steve.
All right, we are the Northwest Brewmeisters.
Don't worry.
Yeah, relax.
Have a homebrew.
All right, see ya. Why does it always have to do the